I'm gonna take this stuff off. Oh man. There we go. All right. I think we're live. I think we're good. How's it going? How do I enter, Scott? I'm assuming, are you in our Discord server, Scott? I know that you were on our Patreon at one point, which means that you definitely had the opportunity at least to be in our Discord server. If you're in the Discord server, though, you just joined by using /join, literally. And that's really it. Also, let me move. I need to move this over. I don't know what I was thinking putting that over there. Anywho, I'm here streaming this tournament. Winner gets 20 bucks. So it's a nice little quick slurp. Nice little Edison quick slurp. You know, I like to do these tournaments every once in a while where I just give out $20 to the winner. Nice little bracket. Free to enter, free to play, all that good stuff. We do have the Trishula Cup happening on Saturday, so in 2 days. That tournament is going to be $700. $700 given out in prizes in all cash, all PayPal and Cash App or whatever your payment method, preferred payment method is. $700 given out to the top. So, is there any other meaning behind quick slurp? Nope. It means exactly what it says. It's just a quick slurp. A quick slurp just means that it's a single elimination bracket. Yeah, that's what the quick slurp is. That's what the quick slurp is. But yeah, I'm excited for Saturday. I'm mainly excited for the Trishula Cup. That is coming up soon. So this is just like a little local to get us closer to that. I don't know what the fuck Pudding's playing, by the way. Like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is going on. I need a chat. Pop this bad boy out. Proto, thank you for that. Really appreciate your channel's been amazing to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! This past 3 months. That's how it felt for me when I first got back into Edison almost 3 years ago now. Time is flying. Time is flying. But yes, we are here playing some Yugs, watching some Yugs be played. Oh. Keep falling. Keep falling. Who is Pudding playing right now? I actually don't know. Oh, okay, that resolved. So Pudding is playing versus Sonori the Priest. And we have some other matches too. Hydro Pump's playing as well. Rhynide's playing. Hydro Pump versus Rhyinide. Ooh, now this is some excitement right here. This is what we came to see. Dragon Turbo versus Lightsworn. 2 Wolves milled. Triple Beckoning in the grave is crazy. Triple Beckoning goes crazy in the grave. Pots a lot to Avarice. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hydro needs something really good to get out of the situation. And I don't know if these resolved, like any of these beckonings. 3 of them makes me feel like at least one of them did. What's your favorite generic tech card so far this year? Lightning Vortex, probably. That'd probably be the one. Lightning Vortex is amazing right now. It's just good against everything. Like, it's not easy for decks to make Stardust. And yeah, Vortex just clears dupe block. Vortex clears Blackwing boards. It clears Vayu boards. Titanial, which is extremely important right now, that you are able to clear Titanial and any of the fucking things next to Titanial. So yeah, I think Vortex is like right now one of the cards of the year per se, in terms of like tech cards or whatever. Future Fusion is great. I assume that there's going to be some number of trade-ins. He only has 13 cards left. So who would you say is the current best Blackwing player to learn from? Still Ludo. Ludo doesn't really play that much anymore. He might be playing War League though. So if he, I mean, yes. So the answer would still be Ludo. If Ludo is playing War League, which I think he might be, and he's playing Blackwings, you could look at the scoreboard in the War League server and just like literally watch his games. I'm sure that the level of play is still peak Blackwing player level. There's actually a lot of replays in here. Honestly, I would just watch all of the War League replays that feature Blackwings. You can learn a lot about what to do and what not to do. I'm scrolling right now. There are a lot of replays that feature Blackwings in the last day. Like literally today. There's mirror matches, there's a lot of Blackwing gameplay. So like over 50% of the matches in the last 24 hours are actually Blackwing. Like have Blackwings in it. The mask of restrict stock skyrocketing. Is it? Yeah, in the War League Discord server. I watch replays from the War League Discord server. At least I used to. Like last season, I watched a lot of them. Almost every single replay I watched. This year, I haven't been as invested just because like I'm not really that interested in competition right now. Like I don't really care. But when I was trying to get better and just like really try harding, I watched every single one because I learned, just learned a lot from it. But now I'm at that stage where I'm just like, I already know how to, I know how to play. I know what I'm doing. And I'm more in like a content creator mode this year. So, but I think if you're looking to improve, like one, watch my videos, obviously, but also like watch replays of the best players play. There's plenty. Like there's no excuse to be bad in Edison format after a while. If you just put the work in, you will eventually be good. You're allowed to play this format for a very long time, and it's really nice because the card pool doesn't actually change. Like the Banlist doesn't actually change, so you get to practice the same punch over and over and over again. This is still the same game. So he black rosed all that nonsense. All three beckonings are just in a row. This looks so crazy to me. Four cards left. So what's missing? All the red meds are noticeably missing from this graveyard. One debris dragon is missing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, somebody could do War League content. That's not really my thing. Only part of War League that I really cover is like the drama of the year part of it, because that shit is, the War League always has drama, of course. Is this JD off of Sark? It kind of looks like it is. I don't imagine it got banished any other way. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume it's off of Sark. I'm gonna assume that he gets this soon. I like this quote Lewis Hall's. Fear not, this is from Bruce Lee. Fear not the man who plays 1,000 decks. Fear the man who has played the same deck 1,000 times. That's very true. The deck specialists in Edison format are really talented. The people who play like the same one or two decks are like really good at them usually. and have a lot of accolades or whatnot with that deck. I think it's worth it to find a deck that you like and stick with it even when you lose, and get better with the deck, because you'll just be better off than switching decks constantly, thinking that like the deck is the reason why you're not doing that great. Like oftentimes it's the fact that you actually don't know how to play it as well as you might think. Like when I first picked up Frogs, I was not like, you know, at the level I am now. But I stayed with it and kept refining the build. But ultimately, I stayed with that deck. Like, I'm playing Frogs. I'm committing to it. Yes, I'm losing the Dynas. I'm losing the DDVs. I'm losing the Vanity's Fiends. I'm losing to, like, everything. And then eventually you start to figure shit out. And it feels really nice when you do. And it is frustrating, but I think it's worth it to just keep trying. Oh, Joshua, thank you for the sub. We are almost at 7,200 subscribers. We are like 5 away. Yeah, we're 5 away from 7,200 subscribers. So the closer we get to 10K, the sooner I'll get that haircut. You know? You know, but how's everybody doing? It's Thursday night. It's a Thursday night. I'm on the East Coast, so it's only 7:46. 7:46 for us. 7:46 p.m. Yes, trying to get to 10K. 10K one time. We will hit 10K this year for sure. We will hit 10K for sure this year. So that's a nice little milestone to look forward to. Also, I want to do more of the draft stuff. Did you guys get a chance? That's what I wanted to talk about. Did you guys get a chance to watch the draft that we did, like the video where we're using that new program or whatever? I was wondering people's thoughts on that. This isn't game, right? Because he has Gardner. It might be game if he just summons back Drago, though. I don't know. I mean, this has to be a dragon. The new program seems fun to use, but it's harder to follow as a viewer. Interesting. Where are you having a hard time following it? I think what'll happen is you'll get used to it, because like I'm also new to the program. I'm also pretty new to it. So like the UI is obviously something that you have to get used to, but I think eventually you just like, I mean, it kind of looks like Dueling Book anyway. Like you have the players' life points and stuff on the right, you have their pictures on the right, and then you have like the field in the middle and all that. The big image of the card on the left. Oh, he just took everything. Oh, if he takes 4 attacks, he's just dead. Never mind. LOL JK. He's dead. Dead through Gardner. That's broken. But yeah, I like the idea of draft. It's fun. We're gonna do more of that. Try to make it into like a weekly thing if I can. And then we have Teaching Me How to Cook for GBs coming out tomorrow. Right now it's available for members only. So yeah, still a lot of stuff baking. What's up, Mr. Priest? Quackimero Drago is so broken. If you're a Lightsworn player, it just like shuts down your most important play, but like Are you at least gonna fade the haircut in when you do it? I'm not putting that on Instagram. That is not happening. I don't know about fading the haircut. That's also not happening. I'm just going to replicate the exact haircut. Like, I'm not trying to... Fading is already hard, like, doing a regular fade, like a real fade. Dye it blue. Nope. Nope. I'm not dyeing my hair. Three changes to the ban list for Edison that I would do. I would get rid of DDV, obviously. That's like one. Honestly, that's the only one that I really want to see, because the rest of the cards I'm pretty fine with. Like obviously we have, you know, certain cards are broken or whatever, but I think you definitely want broken cards in the format. You don't want a boring ass format with no like one-ofs or no cool, like, oh, you need Saki cards is what I'm saying. You need some of them. I think DDV is just kind of like AIDS in general. Like, the card is just fucking AIDS. So I'll get rid of that one. Oh, you're like bringing cards into the format. I don't know about all that. Like, I wouldn't do that permanently. It would be just like a fun thing. I mean, I'm already doing a Trishula tournament where Trishula is an Edison format, and that's going to be really fun. But I'm not about to bring hand traps. Fucking hand traps ruin Yu-Gi-Oh! To me. Like, I'll pass on that. I do not want to play a format with a ton of hand traps is like the way you play the game. I'll pass. Like, if I wanted to do that, I'd just play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I would just play modern. I wouldn't like half-ass it and try to make Edison like half modern with a bunch of hand traps. And if you want to play Veil or MXC, you can just play Tengu format. I wonder if you're using the Ghost Rider, like the new Ghost Rider deck where you playing like 3 of this thing. I actually like this card a lot. Like, it's actually really good. For some reason though, I had it in my head for a while that for like you don't take battle damage when it gets destroyed, which would make it like so much better. But you do take battle damage. Yeah, playing 3 of it allows you to just Black Rose all the time. Like, Black Rose is just always on the table. How is Vortex Trooper an Aqua? Honestly, I don't know. That is random as hell, though, that it's Aqua. That is so... Like, the fact that this isn't... Well, I guess if it was a machine, you could machine dupe it. This was probably around the time when Konami was still suffering from PTSD from when, like, Troop Dupe Scoop format happened. So any small machine monster had to be, like, vetted. And this probably is supposed to be a machine, but... they can't because of, you know, machine duplication. I really think that that's why. Like, I'm not even joking. I think it's just because machine duplication exists, and they already experienced a format where you had a, you know, a monster that's really small get duped and do too much. It also has the name Trooper in it, so they're just not making that mistake again this early. This was like a couple years. I actually don't know when this card came out, but I assume it's a couple years after Card Trooper came out. So. Somebody let me know when this card came out. What year did this come out? Because Card Trooper's like 06, 07? I think 06. Vortex Trooper is 2007. Yeah, so they were just like, absolutely not. We're not making two cards that you can machine dupe. That are both playable too. Like this would be... What's kind of cool about this and machine dupe is that if you drew multiple copies of this, you could just put it back with this card. Alright, this guy's an idiot. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. But yeah, Vortex Trooper is like... I think it's just too close to resembling Card Trooper, and it fixes your hand. Even if you drew multiples, you can just be like, I'm putting this back, and I'm just going to dupe it now and bring it back out. One, two, three. So he's missing another name for JD. And I'm not even sure what to synchro for here, because none of, like, it's not lethal. Mistworm is awful. Yep. This was such an interesting play, because, like, why did the play get summoned? I don't know, yeah, something, I don't know what's going on there. This is probably just GG now. Thoughts on Black Garden? I low-key think it's super broken, but it's such an annoying card to play with and against. Yep, you answered your own question right there. You answered your question right there. Is Gores going to be a must now because of the OTK decks? Isn't it just the opposite? I feel like it's just literally... I feel like it's the exact opposite of what you just said. Gores is actually terrible against both of the OTK decks. Like, it's actually one of the worst cards against both of them. It doesn't prevent either one of them from killing you. What's the best type of cake? I love lemon cake. Lemon cake is my favorite cake. Lemon cake wa totemo oishii desu. Keiki wa oishii desu. Oh, I'm glad. If I ruined your day, I'm very happy about that. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have that power over you. Mind control. Carrot cake is good, but the narrative is against it. Wake up, sheeple. I fucking hate carrot cake. Why are we putting vegetables? Why are we putting vegetables in our cake? Like, actually, carrot cake is an abomination. That shit is disgusting. I stand by it. Carrot cake is nasty. People who like carrot cake just want attention. Okay, fuck you, Feng Shui. Lemon cake is definitely an old person answer. I've liked lemon cake since I was a child. Lemon cake is goated. Fucking carrot cake is for old people. You're literally putting vegetables in cake for no reason. Like whole ass vegetables. That shit is nasty. Y'all can keep the carrot cake. I like chocolate cake. I like lemon cake. I like confetti cake. I like strawberry cake. I love strawberry cake. I'm old too. It's all good. I'm roasting myself. Listen, we're the same age, okay? Why does everyone say red velvet cake is chocolate? It doesn't taste like it at all. Are you sure about that? Carrot cake is gross. I'm not like carrot cake is not. Are y'all trolling me? Carrot cake is gross. Chelsea 153, thank you for the sub. Are we at 7,200 yet? Are we at 7,200? I feel like this is the stream where we go to 7,200. I feel like this might be the stream. Red velvet cake is red chocolate cake. And carrot cake is for people with dentures. Yeah, like carrot cake is... I just feel like you need attention. Like you weren't hugged as a child or something if you like carrot cake. Like you talked to the corner in your wall and you just were like, You didn't have friends, so when they put you in timeout, you just started speaking to yourself in the corner. That's what I feel like people who like carrot cake were like as children. There are carrots in carrot cake, yes. There are actual carrots. What do you think makes it taste so bad, James? What do you think makes carrot cake taste so bad? You can't even taste the carrots. Says who? It's a Fraser hates veggies. I actually don't hate vegetables. I like cabbage. I like greens. I actually like carrots when they are with regular ass food, not cake. Because why are we putting whole ass vegetables inside of cakes? The worst carrot cake is when you see the actual shredded carrots in it. Yeah, that's exactly what I think of when I think of carrot cake. The ones where you can see like the streaks of orange in it. Landon, if you want to play in these tournaments, you have to join our Patreon at one of the paid tiers. There's a link in the description, usually, of all of these. Yeah, there's definitely a link in the description. I'm seeing it right now. Check out our Patreon if you want access to our Discord server. That's the only way you can play in these tournaments. We're also doing a $700 tournament Saturday. We're giving away $700 and there's no entry fee. There is no entry fee. I've done a ton of these by now, so most people know how this works. But like, if you're in my Discord server, every once in a while, we just throw a tournament and give away a bunch of cash. A lot of times those tournaments have special rules. So this one is going to be that you can play one copy of Trishula in your extra deck. And it should be pretty fun. All right. Oh, I did not mean to click replay. All right, Ryan I is eliminated. Let's see what's going on. That's a name. Chaos Hexa. Oh, people are moving through the bracket. Zam, Zaddy. So Ryan I's done. So we got Chaos. Oh, Cornbread is crazy good. Cornbread is crazy good. I used to think cornbread wasn't good when I was a kid, and then I grew up, like I became a man, and then I realized that cornbread is just like one of the best things you can eat. I also have had, and this might be crazy to some people, maybe not, I've had cornbread with actual corn in it, and it slapped. Like, it actually slapped. Like, cornbread with actual corn in it, it's like, I don't know if I was being trolled by the restaurant, but I went to this one restaurant, they had actual corn inside the cornbread, and this shit was really good. Well, corn isn't a vegetable. So let's start there. Corn is not a vegetable. Let's just... Oh, God, I cannot type. Is corn a vegetable? Here we go. Corn can be considered both a vegetable and a grain, depending on when it's harvested and what part of the plant is eaten. Corn is a fruit because the kernels come from the flower of the plant. Fresh corn is considered a vegetable because it's harvested when soft and full of liquid. Mature corn that's dry is considered a grain. Yeah, so when people refer to corn, usually they're referring to this one, like a mature corn, which is a grain. And no one is eating the fucking leaves. I hope you're not eating the leaves on corn. My dad choked to death on cornbread. I am sobbing right now. Good. Good. At least he died a death where he was happy. You know, his last moments were probably very pleasant. Yeah, but cornbread is broken. Ryan, you said you were never playing around him citing Mirror Force and Decree and into Lightsworn. Very well played. I mean, literally every single Dragon Turbo player sides Mirror Force and Torrential. It's like, it's only been several years now. That's like the most common thing that they do. It's not like a secret that they're siding those cards. I also don't know why you brought back Plague if you weren't actually going to use it. Like you could say like, oh, I'm not going to play around Mirror Force, but like, there's no reason to set yourself behind the turn on as well, right? Ew, tomato cake sounds gross too. Somebody's going to try that shit if they haven't already. I have no idea what people are doing, Brandon. I don't know what people are doing right now in terms of like DDV or whatnot, because I'm not a person that plays DDV decks typically. Like I mean, I play Blackwings like once or whatever, right? But I don't have my ear to the ground on DDV right now. I don't really factor it in. Chocolate cake is just broken. I think chocolate in general is just one of the best flavors of anything, because chocolate is just good. Like, I love chocolate personally. I ordered a 5-pound bag of peanut chews. It's like chocolate peanuts and caramel, right? Yeah, there's caramel in those. Yeah. And it's crack. The peanut chews are crack. American chocolate is nasty. Your mother's nasty. Milk chocolate is very good. Milk chocolate is amazing, actually. Don't do me like that. How you just gonna come at chocolate like that from America? Chocolate from America is totally fine. It might not be the best chocolate, but it's not like bad. Calling it nasty is crazy. Hershey's has the same ingredients as human vomit. That's some damn good vomit. Yum, yum, yum. Eat it up. I love Hershey's. Hershey's cookies and cream. S tier candy right there. S tier candy. Y'all never had Hershey's cookies and cream? That shit is crack. Yeah, my vomit has never tasted like a Hershey's cookies and cream. What's up, Lil Pipe? Straight up the worst chocolate. My man's name is Cum Shot of the Week, and he's shitting on American chocolate. Uh-oh. I could also eat like 5 cookies and cream bars without blinking. Like, I just disintegrate them. I literally just disintegrate the Hershey's cookies and cream. Zero diff. Heavy storm. Dragek. Who would name themselves after vomit? Couldn't be me. Says Puke. Ever had yam cornbread? No, I have not. Where do I get yam cornbread from? I love yams. Like, candy yams are so fucking good. Or sweet potato casserole, whatever you want to call it. That shit is crack. Now I want some chocolate. Yams are sweet potatoes for the white people in the chat. Yams are literally sweet potatoes. That's what black people call sweet potatoes. We call them yams. Oh, sweet potato cornbread? Now that shit. I feel like I've had sweet potato cornbread. Now that we like are calling it that. Because I've never heard it called yam cornbread, but I knew what you meant. DDV is just not that great without pressure. Exactly. Exactly. If you DDV and then nothing happens for 3 turns, it's kind of like, all right. Yams and sweet potatoes are literally the same. What are you talking about? If somebody says they're making candied yams, they are literally taking sweet potatoes and boiling them and slicing them up and covering them in brown sugar and syrup and cinnamon and all types of shit like that. Antonio, you are speaking my language right now. You are speaking my absolute language. Okay, well, we're not in fucking Jamaica. We're not in Jamaica right now. We are blatantly in America. This is America. Speak American. Yams are sweet potatoes. You can ask any black person, like, what is a candied yam? Like, what are candied yams made of? And they're just going to be like, sweet potatoes? Like, they're going to look at you like really confused, and they're just going to say, sweet potatoes. Yams are literally just boiled sweet potatoes. Not every country belongs to America. Yeah, sweet potato pie is also crack. Y'all are making me hungry for some really, really degenerate foods right now. Like, I don't want to be fat before summer, but I feel like I'm going to be fat before summer. Unless I can get me some Ozempic. I plan to ask my doctor for some Ozempic at the next physical, but they are likely to not give it to me. But if they give it to me, oh, we are so back. White people definitely prefer pumpkin. Yes, I know. I've been to a couple white Thanksgivings and they definitely do like pumpkin over there. Which pumpkin pie, like, isn't bad. It's just inferior to sweet potato pie. Pecan pie is elite. Pecan pie, I have to be in a mood for it, but it's not bad. I just have to be in the mood for it. And I'm more often in the mood for sweet potato pie. Also true. Nobody actually likes pumpkin. They just like butter, cinnamon, and sugar. TJ said pumpkin pie is disgusting. Hey, yo. When something's called disgusting, that shit is just funny to me. Like, calling something disgusting is just so funny. Like, do y'all like Peeps? Do y'all like those fucking sugary ducks? Y'all fuck with Peeps? It's odd that Gigavice is really hyped right now, more than Fishborg Frogs, when Fishborg Frogs have been winning some events, some big events lately. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. Fishborg Frogs has won, like, literally 4 tournaments over 100 people this year. And Gigavice hasn't won a single one. Gigavice hasn't cracked top 8. Like, it hasn't cracked past top 8, I should say. It hasn't gotten past top 8. But everyone's talking more about the Gigavice deck, which is fine. Like, I think they're both problematic. So, Peach Cobbler. Peach Cobbler is another tier 0 dessert. I like any dessert where if you add ice cream to it, it just becomes, like, godly. And Peach Cobbler with ice cream is just... Oh. So fucking good. Did my music stop? The hell? Alright. Damn, GYBU is moving. He is moving. Oh, Ryan Knight never reported. Instead, he came to the chat to yap. Okay. All right. Who is playing in this right now? We have Behind the Dual Disc. So that's Ty. Nope, that is not his name. Oh, wait, I'm in advanced. I am in advanced. Okay, let me try that again. Ty. Here we go. Here we go. I've never heard of peach cobbler. So what part of the country do you live in? Would it happen to be like the middle? Would it happen to be like Bumblefuck? By any chance? You've never heard of peach cobbler? Have you heard of black people? Am I a myth to you? I want to like Peeps because I respect the vision, but they're too sweet. Peeps are... Ooh. Peeps are something. Gigavice players jerk their deck off so hard, players know how to counter it by its third tournament. I don't know if people know how to really, like, counter it. I mean, yes, Morphing Jar number 2 is good against it. There are cards that are good against it, but, like, everything that's good against it happens to also be really bad if they've already popped off a lot of the time, or, like, before... I don't know. It's just, like, a lot of cards don't matter because they play True Nate and Heavy. And so, like, if they just True Nate or Heavy you, then all those cards don't matter. Or they pop off and you don't have the cards. I don't know. It's just, like, a lot of cards are cope. I do want to see Morphing Jar number 2 go off against a Gigavice player. Like, I want to catch that on stream. I honestly do. Yeah, Flip Flop Frog is good against it, but that's not really a side deck card, right? That's just a straight up card that Frogs play. I mean, Frogs, yeah. Frogs have a, Frogs probably have a better Gigavice matchup than most decks because of Flip Flop Frog specifically. Yeah, the reason why Frogs I think are just straight up better than Gigavice is because of Maria Greed. The fact that Maria Greed can fix a hand, and 3 cards is so many cards to redraw. That's literally half of your fucking hand is changing. Like, that is scary as hell. I mean, Gigavice has topped. Gigavice topped the EWCQ last week and it topped Orlando. Forgs has been winning more. Forgs has won 4 tournaments this year that I can count. Including the one we just streamed last week, the EWCQ 9. It's only a matter of time before Gigavice wins a tournament. I'm going to knock on wood because I said that about Diva Hero Beat and that shit never won a tournament ever. Here comes Gigavice. But yeah, again, we are having a $700 tournament on Saturday where you can play Trishula. And I can't wait to see how that one turns out. I can't wait to see how that one turns out. Yeah, I want to see Gigavice deck out. I want to see Gigavice attack into a Morphin Jar number 2 and just like shit goes terribly wrong. But I have a feeling that good Gigavice players will somehow develop counterplay to Morphing Jar number 2 because that's what good players do. If in real life RBETs continue to be no top cut, would you still consider going? No. So to be clear, I think the only reason that the in real life RBET last weekend was not top cut is because they were at a like special event. Because the one in Chicago will definitely have a top cut like all the other RBETs, but like a tournament without a top cut to me is not a competitive tournament. Like, it's not like if we just play 8 rounds of Swiss and then that's it. That's not like, what are we doing, right? Like, that's not. The person who goes undefeated in Swiss or who's first in Swiss rarely ever actually wins the tournament. And going first in Swiss often just means that like you were probably the luckiest person that day, not necessarily the best person. Whereas, you know, the more you play right? And having elimination rounds is super important to anything competitive, though. Like, imagine if football, right? Imagine if instead of the Super Bowl, they just fucking played the whole season and they were like, all right, whoever's the first seed after the season, that's just the person who won the entire thing. That's the Super Bowl champion. That would be like really anticlimactic, and no one would consider that shit to be real. So that's kind of how I feel. Like, if it doesn't have a top cut, I don't want to play in it. Like, you need a top cut. We're playing a fucking card game. Like, you need a top cut. But I will be going to Chicago. I'm excited for that. I think Chicago is the only RBT I'm going to this year because I'm doing a lot of traveling. Like, I'm going to Japan for 2 weeks soon. I'm going to Vegas next month for the YCS, for the 3v3 YCS. When you add losers bracket to Yu-Gi-Oh, should feel really bad to only lose on a final, for example. It would be cool if Konami or whoever did, like, when you make top cut, you do a double elimination thing. So that way you're not just like, I'm first seed and he's last seed and I just lose that one set and I'm out. But like, it takes so much longer to do double elimination at the same time. You got to go to Chicago Chicken and Waffles when you get there. I love chicken and waffles. Also, Bob Cuddy, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub, Bob. We are 3 subs away from 7,200. Oh, Enraged, you'll be in Chicago? Nice. Yeah, that's what I was saying. RBTL in LA was not top cut since the tournament was part of a collector's expo. So they had to end the tournament before 7. Yeah, that really sucks. Like, as a player, as a competitive player, like, I would not want that experience just because I don't really play in any tournaments that are not, that don't have a top cut. Especially, like, I don't want to play in a tournament that's decided by Swiss. I feel like if it was going to be like that, if they knew that they had to close at 7 p.m., I would have just done a 2-day event, like a, you know, like a regular tournament, right? Like day 1, you play Swiss, and then day 2, you play top cut. So I also think top cut is very exciting. Like, if I'm watching a stream, for example, look at any tournament that I've streamed and look at any tournament that Konami streams. When you get to top 32, top 16, top 8, the fucking crowd, the way the people, the energy, the way people react to people playing an elimination bracket is so different from Swiss. Enraged, you got your membership badge back. I see you. Thanks for becoming a member again. Guys, we do have channel memberships for those interested. We put out content early on there, and it also gives you some nice emotes, which I will spam real quick. Emotes in chat. Emotes in chat. But if you just want to support the channel as well, it's always nice. It's only $5. Icarus. What's happening? Oh, Robin has discovered the emojis. Next month, I upgrade to the Dupe Frog. Let's go. Yeah, becoming a Dupe Frog is going to be major. You'll be one of the first people to become a Dupe Frog. We took HT19 to JJ's Fish and Chicken to play Yu-Gi-Oh! He learned of mild saws. He ain't been the same. He getting waves now. He's getting waves now is crazy. How do the badges work? I like being Death Frog. Well, unfortunately, the way it works is that you can't stay Death Frog. The longer you are a channel member, eventually, so you go from being a tadpole to a Death Frog to a Swap Frog to a Dupe Frog to a Treeborn Frog, and then I think finally you become a Substitute, as I think. Yeah. Also, your face version 1, like, I agree and disagree with what you said. So obviously there's a spectacle that comes with elimination, but like, it's not just for the viewer. Like, it's for both. Like, it's for the player and the viewer. Like, the tournament, somebody has to get eliminated. Like, I don't know what the big deal. Like, somebody has to get eliminated from the tournament. You don't just play like regular season and then you decide like, oh, I'm the winner because of regular season. That's ass. Why can't everyone win in whole hands? Because nobody wants to see that kumbaya shit. For example, what's kind of funny to think about, the guy who was first in Swiss at Anaheim was the fish guy who you saw on Teach Me How to Cook. He would have won Anaheim if it would just ended at Swiss, which would be like not indicative of the actual best player to win that tournament. Right? So like, yeah, you don't want tournaments. You don't want tournaments ending without elimination. Elimination changes, it also changes like the way people play. The pressure, there's like a lot of pressure that's involved with that. I need my participation trophy. Yeah, a lot of people skip day one and just watch Top Cut and FGC, for example. I mean, even NBA, like the NBA regular season is, especially nowadays, people don't really care for it. They'll watch the NBA playoffs, but people don't even really care about the regular season because the elimination rounds is where it's at. Like, that's where the pressure is. That's where people really put it all on the line. Yeah, well, that's always on the table, though. You're not saying something that's exclusive to Top Cut, your face. What you're saying about the best player can lose a match due to luck and be knocked out, that's true the entire tournament. You realize that, right? Like, that's never not true. That's true in Swiss. That's true in elimination. Like, the best player can always lose and be knocked out due to luck. We're playing a card game, for God's sake. So that never changes, which is why that's not a good argument on why there shouldn't be a Top Cut. I'm not really sure why anybody would be arguing against having a Top Cut for a tournament, by the way. This is crazy. Yeah, but football is, so now what? Like, the point is that playoffs matter. Like, playoffs are the most exciting part. Both players and viewers respect playoffs more than the regular season of anything. Like, that's just, like, what are we talking about? You're delusional if you think otherwise. Like, I understand that there were circumstances that did not allow for a Top Cut, but like, the question that was asked to me was, would I want to play in a tournament that doesn't have a Top Cut? The answer is no, especially for $50. Like, I'm not playing in a tournament. I'm not paying that much money to play in a tournament that's not Top Cut. That's me personally. Obviously, a lot of people wanted to do that. If you live in LA or you live in California, then absolutely go to that tournament. But like, if I had to fly from Philadelphia to go play in that, like, no, I'm not doing that. Also, if you've never been in a Top Cut of tournaments multiple times, like, I don't even want to really discuss like this whole for the spectacle for the player thing, because like, I'm both. Like, I'm both. I'm the player and I'm the spectator, and I can tell you from being in both the finals of multiple tournaments and playing in the Top Cut of multiple tournaments, the feeling is very different. It is a very, very different feeling than playing in like Swiss. Who are we waiting on? So these two are playing. This just concluded. One time I saw Frazier beat up 5 8-year-olds for an ulti Kai. As he noticed I saw the whole thing, approached me, knelt on one knee, and whispered in my ear, "Only the strong survive." And Naruto ran away. Oh my god. Tabletop Game Shop. If you want to join our tournaments, you have to join our Patreon at one of the paid tiers. That is the only way. The only possible way you could ever play in any of my tournaments is to join our Patreon at one of our several paid tiers, which gives you access to our Discord server. All right, I won't gatekeep you. Your face. I won't gatekeep you. You got a couple regional tops. You got a couple side event wins here. Even though it's kind of unfortunate, regionals don't do like an actual playoffs. So I would consider the RBET more like a regional tournament, right? Because regionals, they also play like however many rounds, and they just say, these are the people who are your top 8 based on Swiss, and they get like a deck box or some bullshit. I think regionals could be so much better for Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's a whole different topic. But like, the best players would not even play in Yu-Gi-Oh regionals if they did not grind for worlds points specifically. Like if there wasn't some other incentive. They don't actually want to play 10 rounds of Swiss to win a deck box and a mat. They just do not. Robin, you are on one. How am I going to start a YouTube channel after top 8ing once if there is none? Exactly. How are people going to start a YouTube channel after they top one event if there's really no top cut? What Pudding said is a really, 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 really important factor. Pudding said, for a long tournament with no top 8, it's way worse for good players. You lose one game in Swiss due to bad luck, you're not getting first. And by one game, he means like one round, basically. Top cut still gives you a chance, right? So I can lose like round 1, or really any round, right? But if I only lose once, I deserve to be in top 8 or top 16 or whatever and play for the whole tournament if I only lost one time. Because we're playing fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! We're not playing tennis or boxing or golf or something that's like a sport where it's like, I'm just better than you and I'm going to beat you every time because I'm better than you. We're playing a card game. A big part of card games is RNG, unfortunately. Like, there just is. Like, I can lose to literally anyone. I have a higher chance to beat anyone, but I can still just lose to anyone. And I lose to anyone all the fucking time because it's a card game. Whether I'm more skilled than them or not. I think the only argument against double elimination and top cut is the time thing. And I personally wish that it was double elimination, because I think that would just be like more, obviously I'm all for more competitive, right? But you got to think about logistics and all these things, which is the reason why the RBET was not top cut, is because apparently they had to stop at 7 p.m. each day. But I think that the decision should have just been made to make it a 2-day event. But then I guess you don't get 2 times the money, right? You don't get the entry fee from Saturday and entry fee from Sunday. But I think it would have been better to just have it be a 2-day event, like a regular Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Like tournaments of that size are usually 2 days. When do signups start for the Trishula Cup? Are you in the Discord server? Because they start, you know, soon. They'll be open when they need to be open. Don't worry. Everyone in the Discord server, they know how this goes. Ice Queen said $50 to play for each day and not even have a top cut seems not ideal. I just think it's silly that like, oh, I went X1, but I like, let's say I lost round 4. Like I have no shot of like winning this tournament. Which is like kind of stupid. Like I can't possibly win a tournament, but I'm X1, but I literally cannot win. If you lose any round, you are fucking eliminated. That is, what are we talking? Like that is not competitive. That's just not like what. There's like, that just doesn't even make sense. I'm X1, but I have no shot of winning this tournament. And also, the person who gets second place is determined by literally tiebreakers? Like, what are we talking about? Right, I like that idea, Steve. He said it would have been nice to do a top cut after day 1 on day 2, then do a side RBET day 2 without top cut. Right, so kind of the way Konami does the Attack of the Giant card. They do day 1 and day 2 is like Ultimate Time Wizard, right? We play Swiss day 1, we do top cut day 2, but at the same time, there's another tournament for people who did not make top 8, which is most people, who did not make top 8. You get to play in this other tournament with a great prize. Same exact price. So like literally, yeah, I would have used that model. I think that's like a great solution, is to have RBET to maintain the integrity of the integrity and the competitiveness of the tournament. You do Swiss day 1, top cut. You get the whole thing where people are like, oh, I topped, right? Because like, one of the best parts about every Yu-Gi-Oh tournament ever, the thing that makes Yu-Gi-Oh so cool, the lore of it, the pro players, and the feeling that people get when they top finally after trying for so fucking long, is that night where you know you topped, you see your name at the top 8 or top 16 or whatever at the end of day 1, and you get to like make all your posts and be super happy and tell your friends like, oh, but I'm playing against like Gigavice tomorrow in top 8, or I'm playing against Christia Sworn tomorrow. Do you like study your matches? It's like such a fun feeling, and it's just all lost if it's just all decided after Swiss. It's more that event's more like a regional. It literally is like a regional. If you decide the winner based on Swiss, it's literally a regional, right? I like the idea that Steve had, where they still make it a 2-day RBET, but on Sunday there's another tournament with prizes running alongside of it, and it's a 1-day event, like a 1-day and 1K and 1-day thing, or whatever you want to call it, whatever they, you know, whatever. Was it known that there wasn't going to be a top cut going into the RBET? Like, people who, like, did you know that it was going to be just Swiss is the winner before you got there, or was that like was that an announcement that was made at the actual tournament? Also, all Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments start late. I've never been to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament in my life that started on time. I don't even start my tournaments on time. I actually purposely start my tournaments a little late, just to keep the vibe of a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. I refuse. If I tell y'all that my tournament's starting at 11 a.m., I'm going to start it at 11:15, just on principle that it's a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. They're not allowed to start on time. I feel like it's disingenuous to the community to start a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament exactly on time. It's just not a thing. You gotta start late. So just to keep the integrity of it, like, people need something to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, they, before the tournament starts, they have to be like, oh, like looking at their watches and talking to their friends, like, oh, we haven't started yet. Like, you need that camaraderie. You need everyone to, like, in solidarity, kind of hate the TO for a good like 20 minutes. So yeah, Keegan said weeks in advance that they would not play out Top Cut. So people did know. Yeah, when you signed up for the event, it didn't say it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate, I guess. But like, if he did make an announcement weeks in advance, I mean, it's not like there's anything you could do. You can't like get a refund because you also just can't get a refund from Konami either. Like, Orlando started 2 hours late. Orlando started. They were like, we don't have seats. At YCS Orlando, they literally told us we don't have seats, so y'all just gonna have to wait until we find seats for y'all to play. They didn't tell us that when we signed up though. But we just showed up and we were like, all right, I guess we're just fucking sitting around waiting until we are allowed to play the tournament. Yeah, I will be scared. If the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament started on time, I'm scared. Because then that means something is about to go terribly wrong. Like there's going to be a random repair, like round 4. Because it's just like, it's a bad omen to start your Yu-Gi-Oh tournament on time. Like I said, I purposely start, if my tournament starts at 11 a.m. and I'm perfectly ready, my stream is set up, I got my music ready, I got my tea right next to me, you know, I always got my little tea. If I'm perfectly ready and I look at it and it says 10:59, I'm gonna wait about 15 minutes before I start. Yeah, start times are a suggestion. You just can't, like, no one has ever been to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament that started on time except maybe a local. And even locals, if y'all local is like my locals used to be when I was younger, people showed up when the tournament was supposed to start. I swear to God, my tournament was supposed to start at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Everyone would show up at like 1:55. I swear to God, they would start a fucking line that you couldn't possibly resolve. You couldn't possibly resolve this line at 1:55 before 2 o'clock. You couldn't possibly resolve it. There's a guy in the front who's fucking fumbling with his wallet. He can't find his Kasi ID card. He doesn't know he's ever played in a tournament before. Then there's like some mom with her son who's never been to a tournament ever before in his life. And she's asking, how does this whole thing work? And she's holding up the line too. And it's 1:55 and your tournament starts at 2 o'clock. You know y'all not starting until 2:17. And guess what? You get so used to it that you just kind of accept it as like, yeah, this is just how it is. All right, let me read some of the chat. Your Face said, I left an Atlanta regional super late one time. Swear it felt like midnight, but it was years back, so I can't remember. It would still suck if you signed up months ahead and then found out later. I agree. Like, it would suck if I signed up for RBT Chicago, which I have. I actually have registered for RBT Chicago already because I don't want to not have a spot in September when that shit comes. And I really am going there because I really want to see like Eric, and I want to go to their, you know, I want to be in Chicago around my friends in Chicago because I've become very close with the Chicago squad. So like it would suck if I found out that the Chicago RBET is not going to be Top Cut. That would suck. But like I can't get a refund, right? So every monthly we start at 1 p.m. and we still got people showing up at 1:30. Yeah, see? Speaking of tea, my favorite place to get the latest tea is HT9T's channel. Magnus shows up to his chess matches late, so I'm trying to match that aura. Does he actually though? Like, does Magnus literally show up late on purpose? The best part of a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament is fucking around with your friends before the round starts. I agree. You gotta hear Gonna Take You for a Ride a few times before you appeared. See, you know. If you don't hear Gonna Take You for a Ride a few times, then you know my black ass is not coming out. I'm not coming out the dark magic curtain until I'm good and ready. The wallet fumbling is too accurate. As a black man, if you start a tournament at 1, I'm showing up at 1:15. Oh god. We've started Tengu Locals 30 minutes late because we had to build an agent deck out of the store's cards for someone who wasn't even there yet. See, that's what I'm talking about. You don't get those stories and those moments if you just start on time. It's so vanilla to start on time for a tournament, for a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Again, we're not fucking curing cancer here. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh. We're a bunch of fucking grown-ass men and women playing Yu-Gi-Oh. We could start 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I got banned from a store in Japan because I got there late 3 times in a row. They were like, get his American ass out of here. Did you give up on Final Fantasy? No, so the last time I played Final Fantasy was about a week ago, and I played it off stream because I just wasn't in the mood to stream. The problem is Monster Hunter comes out next week, and if y'all know anything about me, I fucking love Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is my favorite game of all time. So I'm going to play a lot of Monster Hunter. A lot of it will be streamed. Like I'll play on stream a lot. A lot of it will be not streamed because I'm not always going to feel like turning a camera on my face or whatnot. But like Monster Hunter's coming out and I just will not be able to beat Final Fantasy before Monster Hunter comes out. So I decided that I'm just going to pick up Final Fantasy like after a while. I don't know how long a while is, but whenever Monster Hunter gets to that stale point where like there's not really much to do and I'm just kind of like, okay, I can do something else, then I'll go back to Final Fantasy Rebirth. But Rebirth is amazing. I didn't give up on it. I love it. It's a great game. I'm at Costa del Sol right now. It's a great part of the game. I got my swim trunks on in that game. That's Cloud. I got the girls in bikinis. Is there a specific Monster Hunter game you would recommend to someone who's never played the series? I'd recommend you start with whatever the current Monster Hunter game is. So Monster Hunter Wilds, which comes out next week. If you're ever going to play Monster Hunter, I think you should start with that one. The reason I say that, most people are going to be playing that one. Like the entire Monster Hunter fan base is going to be playing that game, and you want to be a part of that. If you're ever going to play the game, you want to be a part of that. It is Capcom's biggest game of all time. It's bigger than Street Fighter. It's bigger than Mega Man. It's bigger than Resident Evil. It's bigger than Devil May Cry. It is literally their biggest intellectual property, period. So Monster Hunter is a great game. I think that you should always play whatever the current one is. You could work your way back if you so choose, even though I don't think that's really necessary, because each game improves upon the last one. It's not like Pokemon Gold and Silver or whatever, where you have like a golden era, you know, and then like playing that is like really fun to keep playing or whatnot. Like Monster Hunter gets better over time. Like it kind of strictly gets better too. I do still have unlimited PTO, but the thing is like, so I don't have a set number of days that I can take off every year like most people do. I'm allowed to take as many days off a year as my boss will approve, but they expect us to be adults. So like, I can't just be like, I'm going to take off 10 weeks or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that. It's still within reason. So we do have unlimited PTO, but like you have to be reasonable. Like I still have a job to do. So yeah, there's that. Like I'm already taking off 3 weeks so far, and we're not even, yeah, I've already scheduled and have taken off 3 weeks of vacation time, and we are not even in March. Because I'm going to Japan for 2 weeks. Yeah, like it's not literally unlimited, because they would just fire me if I tried to abuse it. I mean, honestly, they wouldn't fire me, but they would like just say no. Like they would deny it. Like every time off request still has to be approved. Like I still have to like put it in ADP and say like I'm taking off these days, and then my boss has to look at it and say, okay, this is fine. I've never had any time off rejected ever in my life. Like I've never once. But I do make sure that I get my money's worth with the time off thing. Like I refuse to take less than like 5 weeks off every year. Like I always take a minimum of 5 weeks off of vacation time every year. Like bare minimum. Yeah, then my company, we have off for a lot of holidays. We have off for Thanksgiving. The day after Thanksgiving is a holiday in my company. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day. We were off this Monday for no reason. We get off for Juneteenth now. We get off for the 4th of July. We get off for, I don't know, like a bunch of random shit. Like we get off for everything. We get off for literally everything. Also, I've been working in accounting for 13 years. So if you think about someone who's been working at a career, because like I have a career, it's been 13 years, whatever the max amount of vacation time that somebody would have gained if I was working at a company that had PTO, that's where I'm at right now, basically. That's how I look at it in my head. So that like I never feel bad for taking my time off. Like I've never put in time off and felt like, oh man, like, you know, I really shouldn't put in this 5th week. Like, no. There are people who take off a whole month and go to India. Because in my company, we have a lot of engineers and a lot of them are Indian. And like, there are multiple people who at some point during the year, they just take an entire month off, which is fine. Like, that's their prerogative. Like they, you know, they do whatever they have to do to make sure that things are covered while they're gone, but they take an entire month off. I've heard rumblings that they are trying to make remote workers go back into the office. Is there any truth to that? I'm sure some companies are doing that. My company has not. But federal employees, unfortunately, are being forced to go back into the office, I think. But I am not. I do not work for the government. Thank God. I've been with my current company for 7 years. So I agree with job hopping for pay raises. I think that's a great strategy. I think that when you find a place that you are very comfortable at, like my job is work from home. My job, the salary is really good. Like I'm very comfortable, and like I'm able to buy and do all the things that I want to do. I go on all the vacations a year. I go to every single YCS. I go to like everything I want to do. I Uber Eats every day. I don't cook. My job pays me enough to like support my lifestyle, and that's all I really ask for. While also like I have savings, I have like investments and stuff like that. So I'm comfortable there. PTO is insane. Like PTO, or I should say FTO, which is what we have. We have FTO, which is flex time off. That's what they call it. So like FTO, unlimited vacation, is also really insane because I don't ever have to sit there and like count like, oh man, I only have 2 days left. I guess I should hold these until like this special occasion. I fucking hate that. And yeah, what Ikari said, it gets to a point of diminishing returns. There's like, sure, I could always make more money. If I left my company right now, I could absolutely, with my experience and stuff, I could make more money. But like, do I actually want to leave a company that I'm comfortable at just to make more money? Because there's a point where like more money doesn't actually equal happiness. Like there is a cutoff to where you're making enough money to be satisfied. And like, you know, I get raises every year. We get bonuses every year, like every single year. In fact, that's about to happen soon because it's February. But we get bonuses every year. We get raises every year. Like I'm good. Like I'm good. But yeah, I take a minimum of 5 weeks off every year. And we're off for every holiday. Steve, that's good though, because so the less you take off, the more money you make. I get that. That means that you just work for your money at that point. I'm salaried, so there's no incentive for me to like work more. And my work hours are not really tied to my income at all, which is also fine. But the downside of that is that I can't make as much as you probably, because like if you just decide to work 15 hours or some shit, you just make a shit ton of money. That's great. I don't really want to do that, but I kind of already do that. So if you guys think about it, I'm a full-time, like I do accounting full-time, right? I also full-time content create, if that wasn't already obvious. Like there are videos coming out fucking almost every day on this channel, or if not, I'm streaming or whatever, right? I do a podcast every week. I do multiple YouTube series, like host tournaments. I'm the TO for all these tournaments and stuff. So like I full-time content create and I full-time work. And I also have other things that go on in my life outside of it. I go to the gym, like all this other stuff, right? So like I'm already, if you think about it, like I'm already working overtime, just not for my career, but like YouTube and Patreon are also like a thing that is monetized. So it's not like I'm not getting any return for my efforts. So you know what I mean? It's crazy how much stuff you do with a full-time job. It is crazy, actually. Fuck you, Enraged. I am not the CEO. It's not a good time to be a CEO right now. Yeah, the government downsizing and all that stuff is a little scary. Like, I have a lot of friends who actually work in that sector, and it's very crazy. Like, my friend actually got that email that said he can get 8 months of severance if he leaves his job right now. But he's like, I've been working here all this time. Like, I don't want to do that. Ideally, one day I'll be a full-time content creator. Like, that's the dream, right? The dream is to be like Simo and like those guys who literally do this for a living, because I'm actually very passionate about this. Like, I like doing this a lot. I actually like entertaining people, and just creating content is really fun. And if I did not have my career, I could go so much harder. But like right now, you know, it just is what it is, right? Colton, the Trish tournament is tomorrow if you're living in Japan. But where I'm at right now, it is currently Thursday. The Trish tournament is on Saturday for me. I don't know where you live at. Like, for example, a true hero lives in Korea. So for him, the Trish tournament is like not Saturday, it's Sunday. But yeah, the tournament is on Saturday, February 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, I like content creation a lot. Like, I like this a lot, and I would do this. I would do this 100%. Like, I would stream every day. I would do the whole thing. Fraser, read this. You are the fucking best. Thank you, Green Amigo. You can definitely be as big as them if you give it your all, man, I believe. Yeah, I mean, I do think that I have what it takes to be like a full-time content creator, because I have a lot of good ideas. At least I think so. And so do I assume the people who are subscribed to this channel. Thank you guys for being subscribed and all that good stuff. But like, I think I have that great middle ground of, you know, like you want people who are casual to be able to enjoy your content, but you also want people who are competitive, at least in my opinion, to be able to enjoy it. And I'm right there in that perfect middle spot where I know what I'm talking about, but I also know how to appeal to a casual audience. Like, all of my content is obviously not competitive. That's why I always think it's funny when people are like commenting hardcore about Master and Disaster, as though me and Kenny are not literally fucking around. Like, we played rock, paper, scissors for 4 minutes in the last video. Like, we're not trying to like go super hard, you know what I mean? But like, teach me how to cook, on the other hand, that's competitive, right? So you have Master and Disaster, which is like a very casual thing. It's meant to be entertaining. And then you have Teach Me How to Cook, which still is entertaining, but it's also educational. It's meant to like show you how one of the better players with a deck plays a deck. But I think it's also good to like, when you watch someone, so like one of my favorite content creators is Joshua Schmidt, because one, he's really, really good at the game. So I respect what he says. And two, his content is just like the type of things that I personally like to hear people talk about. Like, right now, are hand traps good, or should we be playing board breakers? He tier lists all the decks all the time and like talks about the ban list. Things that if I was playing Modern Yu-Gi-Oh, I would love that type of content. And so for me, I do like a very similar thing with Edison in my head, is like, you know, I do my tier list of like normal summons and stuff like that. Stuff that like other people just aren't doing. And then I'll also give you like educational content every once in a while. And But I also like being a TO. Like, I like running tournaments. I like running tournaments and streaming and just talking to chat. Like, that shit is really fun to me. Teach Me How to Cook is Teach Me How to Cook is coming out tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. There's an episode that we did with Johnson Boss. Oh, okay. Sick. See, right now I have to do some TO stuff, chat. 1 second. So somebody never reported their match, I guess. Okay, so okay. Josh Rushman is one of the goats for sure, and he's charismatic too. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Like, a lot of people, even though they're really good at the game, they're just not fucking entertaining. They're like really boring to watch. And even people who aren't good at the game can be pretty boring. I think that's like one of the worst things you can do. You guys know the experience we had recently where we had someone on stream who was just boring as fuck. And just like, not everyone is meant to be in front of a camera. Not everyone has the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent to be in front of a camera. What camera do I use? I use a Sony ZV-E10, which my best friend got for my birthday last year. And specifically, the other thing that I use is a Sigma lens. I use this like really good Sigma lens. Let me see if I can find... I'm signing into my Amazon now. I'll tell you exactly what lens it is. But it's a Sony ZV-E10, which I believe is like a mirrorless camera and everything. So the sensor is like really good and all that good stuff. What am I typing in? This is Sigma. So I use this Sigma lens that is Sigma 16mm. I'm just gonna post a link to this in chat. That is a link to the lens that I use. I think the lens is really important. Like, you can have a great camera, but if the lens is shit, then it doesn't really matter. Obviously you want both. Like, you want a lens that is really good glass, but you also want a camera with an amazing sensor. But yeah, that's the lens that I use. And I've been using this lens for a while now. It's like considered one of the best lenses for streaming because you get like this really wide angle of me. Well, you guys really can't tell how wide it is because I'm using a green screen. But it's a really wide angle. And it's also extremely clear. Like, you can fucking see my pores if I got too close. Your time blocking skills must be amazing to fit everything. Do you plan things out each week on Google Calendar or physical agenda? I plan everything out because I have to. I don't really plan it out on like a Google Calendar per se. I use a lot of reminders on my iPhone because I always have my phone. And just like I get into a flow, right? So I know when I have to record the podcast. I know when I have to record Teach Me How to Cook. I know when I have to record Master Disaster. I know when I know when I have to record like certain things. So I just kind of, I'm in a flow. Robin, you are hilarious. Robin said, not to throw shade at any channels, but if I didn't find your channel when I started, I'd still think Darksomorph was broken in Edison. Yeah, Darksomorph is fun. Definitely not broken. How could we forget the guy that said he didn't see your content only to then go on to admit he did like 40 seconds later? Colossal Armory Arm in the D-Fisher is next level. Yeah, this channel has produced some amazing moments for me and the people who watch it. Like, the Colossal Armory Arm with the D-Fisher on the field is still one of my favorite things ever. That shit is so funny to me. That's why I asked, because your camera clearness is very noticeable. Thank you. Yeah, so one thing about me that you guys don't really get to see this, but you can kind of tell if you think about it, is that I care about quality a lot. I made sure that when I started a podcast, I bought a good microphone. Like, I use a very good microphone. I use a Shure microphone, the same one that Joe Rogan uses. I got a mirrorless camera, a great lens, like everything. Like, I like to invest in myself and my brand, and I'm willing to spend, like, I'm willing to pay top dollar to do that. Pretty sure Keegan went on a rant on his stream last weekend about people thinking fairies are bad because they dislike him. I just think fairies are bad because they're bad. I don't think it's because of Keegan. Like, what's weird though is that, you know, in a way he is right. I'm sure that there are people who really hate fairies because they hate him. Because people tend to tie a person to a deck in Edison. I noticed, like, that's a thing. And so people will like attack a deck in a way to attack a player. And it's funny, I talk about this in the episode with Johnson Balls tomorrow, because we're doing a GB episode. Well, we did a GB episode. GBs are one of the decks that get shitted on a lot, right? So you're going to hear us talk about that exact thing, where people like shit on a deck to shit on a player. But when I say fairies are bad, it has nothing to do with Keegan. It just has the fact that, like, the deck is just bad. And that's like proven at this point blatantly by results. Like, you don't need at this point, because like I consider myself a truth teller in this format. Like, I don't get up here and just lie to y'all about decks that are good. Like, I'm not going to tell you that Value Turbo is not a good deck. I'm not going to tell you that Black Wings is not a good deck. Like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to tier them incorrectly on purpose because I just don't like them or whatever. There are a lot of channels that do that. They'll fucking tell you like, oh, Value's mid or Value's not that good. And it's like, okay. Or they'll try to tell you that Frogs aren't that good. And it's just like, okay. Like, I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, I don't consider Christia Swarm fairies. Christia Swarm is just that. It's its own thing. Like, it literally is its own thing. And yeah, if you're saying Value is mid in 2025 at this point, you're coping. Like, I've had Value at S tier forever because I'm not in the business of lying. It doesn't do me any justice to just like come on here and be like, oh man, like this deck is really good and it's ass. Oh, GYB, you lost that last game? All right, here we go. This is the finals, guys. This is the finals. Do I not have a text box? Where's my text box at? The fuck? Did I delete my text box? There's no way. Oh wait, it's right here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Finals. All right. This is for $20. The winner gets $20 and they get the role of tournament winner if they don't have it already. And for people who don't know, the tournament winner role does have special powers in the IMNerd Discord server. For one, you get a pink name. So your name becomes pink in the Discord server. That's one. Two, it allows you to play in the IMNerd Winners Ball at the end of the year, which is a cash tournament that is free to play in. It's invitational. But we do give away hundreds of dollars for the Winners Ball. And the winner gets to keep the winner's title going into the following year. So Pudding won last year's Winners Ball, which means that he doesn't have to actually compete to keep that title this year. He'll just be invited to the Winners Ball, you know, at the end of 2025. Edison is the worst thing Edison could have. Roast me? I don't think it's that bad. I think any deck that sets Raikou is fine. We need to be more worried about the decks that don't set ever. Or don't really... Like, setting is not what they're really trying to do to you. Those are the decks that I'm scared of. But I do think DDV is a problem. I think that is like... DDV is a big problem. People who were asking me, like, how do I fit in everything? Like, how do I do full-time content creation, full-time career? The thing is, the truth is that I don't sleep very long. I actually stay up, like, for a while. I don't go to bed until a minimum of midnight every single night of the week, if not later, but I never sleep before midnight. And I also wake up at, like, the latest 8 a.m. Like, I don't get up past 8 a.m. And that's just because even when I was younger, I've always been like a night owl kind of person. I mean, a lot of nerds are like that. Like, we watch fucking anime until like 2 a.m. or whatever, or game until 2 a.m. or something, or even later than that if you're a super degenerate. But like, I naturally don't sleep long hours, and I also I just like being awake. I know that might sound weird or crazy, but I just like being awake. I actually just do. Like, sleep is nice, but I genuinely just like being awake because I get to do so many things and I have to do so many things. I wish Dupe Frog was at 1 to stop dupe blocks that gatekeep a lot of decks, in my opinion. Yeah, dupe block gatekeeps decks, so does Deck Devastation Virus. The thing is, though, the top decks all do gatekeeping in a way, but they all can beat each other. We had 8 different decks in the top 8 of the last major tournament this past weekend. 8 different decks. Gigavice, Machina Control, Value Turbo, Dragon Turbo, Forgs, I don't think Blackwings did not make it. Hero Frogs. What was the other ones? Christia Sworn? No, I might be making that one up. I don't remember what the other decks were, but there were 8. There were X-Sabers. I always forget about that one. And GBs. Thank you. Thank you guys. X-Sabers and GBs. We had 8 different decks. This format is nowhere near solved if 8 different decks can top a major event still. Well, Phil, you got to start playing first. Yeah, there is the Trishula Cup this Saturday. If I open up Discord and I go to the events tab. So this tournament, while they're side decking, this is a perfect opportunity. So we have the Trishula Cup happening, $700 prize. Thanks to a donation, we got a $500 donation this week, or last week, from my friend Vinny Casello. So originally this tournament was just going to be $200 in prizing, but now it's $700 in prizing thanks to that huge donation. So I'm always thankful for people in the community for doing stuff like that. Frozen Soul donated over $1,000 to the channel for tournaments and stuff in the past as well. We've had other people donate. Willie Beeman donated money. We just had people donate over the years, and it's been really nice. And I literally give 100% of those donations to the players. Like, I do not keep any of it, because my dream is that we can just like host tournaments like this and give out money. Like, I genuinely like doing that. Like, if this channel gets really big, like if I ever become one of those really big YouTube channels, I will be giving away so much fucking money. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to Houston. The IMNerd stimulus check tournament's about to go crazy. That's actually not a bad idea, Robin. A Nintendo Switch 2 tournament. We probably, when a Nintendo Switch 2 launches, I'll talk to Kenny, but most likely we will do a Nintendo Switch 2 tournament. Like winner gets a Nintendo Switch 2. And then we have to come up with some prize for second, third, and fourth or whatever, but it's not a bad idea. And we'll do like a buyback option. I don't know what the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to retail at. I assume between $300 and $400. But we'll do like a buyback thing. So if you don't actually want it, then you can just like have us PayPal you money. Thoughts on Disaster Dragons? Wish there were more players that play variants of Disaster Dragons. I don't think Disaster Dragon is Disaster Dragon, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the one that just like plays traps? It's like dragons with traps. You play like some of them play Hamster Okaias, I think. Oh, you think the fucking Switch 2 is going to be $500 to $700? I do not think that. I don't think Nintendo is going to compete with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox in price, because they typically try to keep their price like lower than those systems. Albeit the specs are also usually lower than those systems, but like I don't think that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be $500 to $700. I hope not. 700 would be fucking crazy. Like they will get laughed at like Sony did with the PS3. I don't know if you guys were around during that time, but when the PS3 launched, they wanted like so much money for it, and it was one of the worst PR things that has ever happened to Sony. I can see $400. I think anything over 400 is pushing it. I think over $400 is pushing it. If that shit is over $400 on launch, I will not be buying one on launch, because I'm not like that big of a Nintendo fanboy. I only like a couple of their games. I like Smash Bros. Now that they do Monster Hunter, I like Monster Hunter when they do those, but they're not going to do a Monster Hunter for several years because Wilds is out, and they're not going to cannibalize Monster Hunter Wilds by releasing a Monster Hunter on the Switch. So we won't get a Monster Hunter game from Nintendo for years. And there's like a couple of little games. Like I like that Nintendo Switch allows you to play like Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 12, 7, 8, 9. Like you could play all of those games on your Switch, which I think is fantastic. I think Dragon decks are fine. Dragon decks have a pretty decent matchup. At least Hamster Echo Kai's Dragons has a good matchup against Vayu, I think. But deck just isn't played that much. Like, I think Quackimero Drago is a problematic card. It's actually really good. But, like, it doesn't have... Maybe it does, but nobody really plays it like that. I was going to say, I don't think it has as sacky of a factor as Vayu. Vayu is a very sacky deck. Like, the thing about Vayu that's so broken is that not only does it have high card activity and like what that means, because I know people hate like this term, and I kind of hate it too, but it just means that like Vayu cards don't really require other cards to be good independently. Like Raikou and Hamster are just good on their own. Armageddonite is just like a good card on its own. Sirocco in a lot of situations is just good on its own. Card Trooper, Gale, they're good on their own. The Prison is good on its own. Mirror Force Torrential, Solemn, Trap Dust Shoot, Return. A lot of those cards are just like, they can just be really, really good with very little effort. And then you have the random like, oh, I happen to mill like a half of a piece. So now my Armageddonite becomes 3,700 damage on a normal summon, which is crazy. So it's a very, like, it has a very high sack factor because it plays a lot of one-offs and it mills. The Hamster Echo Kai's Dragon deck technically has a high sack factor as well. It can play literally everything I just named. It can play like Hamster Echo Kai's, Dark Arm Dragon, but then it gets Return and Burial. It can play all of those cards, but then it gets to also play Future Fusion, which is like, honestly, one of the most ridiculous cards in the format. I won my War League match with my Trap Dragons against Vayu Turbo 2-0. Wait, Sean, what's your name on, like, in the War League thing? I actually want to watch your replay. Oh, you're Nefarian. I just DM'd you my list. Is there a way that I can search? Let's see. In War League scoreboard. Oh yeah, I see it here. 2-0 versus... What the hell? All right, we'll watch this after this is over. I'm not gonna put it on right now. But yeah, I don't think dragons are like bad or anything. It is interesting though. The power of Quackimero Drago got a bit worse now that the format has Gigavice and Forgs as like two of the bigger decks, because those decks aren't as affected by Quackimero Drago. Like when it was birds, frogs every once in a while, Light Sworn, GB, stuff like that. Drago's really good because it's good against everything I just named, basically, except maybe the frog deck. But like, now you're adding more decks that are not light and dark based, so that card is not guaranteed to be like, oh, this round I gotta buy. No round is a buy, but like, you get what I mean. Alright, so I'm gonna put this back on the screen while they're side decking, since relevance. Where the hell? This Saturday, February 22nd, 1 p.m., Trishula Cup. Edison format with Trishula. You can play one Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I do not expect... I mean, I'm not telling people how to deck build, but I don't think you need to go out of your way to make a Trishula deck. Trishula is just an option like every other extra deck monster should be. Like, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't try. If you want to, by all means, if it makes you happy to make a deck that's dedicated to just summoning Trishula, then go for it. But like, if you're trying to win part of that $700 cash prize, I think that you should just play a good deck that can also summon Trishula. Like, I think, and I'm not joking, but I think that like the Brood Dragon decks like Dandy Warrior or whatever are actually not bad now. Like Hamster Reiko Caius Pot Avarice is already a really good engine. And then if you just add the idea that the Breed Dragon's at 3 and you can summon Trishula off of the Breed Dragon, and that's just like an option that can happen, that is fucking broken. Like, that just makes the Breed Dragon terrifying. Does Trish have to be in your deck list? You are not forced to play Trishula. You can literally play any deck you want that is Edison legal. You can play any deck you want as long as it's Edison legal. I do not care. The point is to just answer the question, what if? What if Trishula was legal in Edison format? That is all the tournament is designed to do, and it's also designed to give back to the people who support the IMNerd community, people who are on our Patreon, people who are on our Discord server. We've given away literally thousands of dollars now in prizing over the last couple years, 2 years. You can only play one Trishula. You cannot play 3. It is limited. I have limited the card. Orcs can spam Trish, right? I have no idea. I have not tested for this tournament at all. Like, the tournaments that I create, I do not like test for them. Is this game 3? Oh, this is game 3. This is for everything. This is for 20 bucks and the winner's roll. I actually like this music. This is a new song that I added to my playlist. Watch GB win with no Trish. That's going to make me mad. I hope that GB does not fucking win with no Trishula. That would make me so angry. Like, unreasonably angry. Oh, this is already as high as it's gonna go. Okay. Johnson Ball said I won't play. Trish is format changing. I think decks will consider different main deck options to make it easier. I agree. I'm hoping that a Debris Dragon deck does well. You know, Dragon Turbo, I'm sure, can find a way with Instant Fusion. And yeah, because if you go Debris Dragon, bring back Vortex Trooper. Oh, but you can't Instant Fusion a level 2, though. Yeah, I don't know. But I know Dandelion makes it very easy to summon it with just like a regular... Oh, that's game. What is happening right now? Alright, anyway. Hope Trish can revive Zombie somehow. I mean, Goblin Zombie Summon Diva is Trishul if you play Spine Guildman. Oh, is this like a value mirror match right now? This is a value mirror match, isn't it? Fraser, if you had the choice to customize Edison Banlist, what would you change? I would just ban DDV for now and then see what happens with that. After a couple months, I would decide after that. But I don't really have another change outside of that. Like, that's at the forefront of my brain. DDV would be the first thing to go. I would probably... Let me think about this. Okay. I would also... I'm not sure if this is like correct because I haven't thought about this. This question gets asked to me all the time, but I really don't care about changing the ban list because that's never going to be a real thing. But I would put Fishborg Blaster to 1 as well. So I would ban DDV and I would put Fishborg Blaster to 1 and I would put Supervise to 1. Knowing what we know now. So I would put Fishborg to 1, Supervise to 1, DDV ban. There you go. I like that, Ryan. All right, Rejuve to 1. That's another one that you could do. Yeah, Rejuve to 1. That way you hit all 3 of the ignorant combo decks. So Rejuve to 1, Fishborg to 1. What was the other one? Supervise to 1. I was going to say Gigavice. Supervise to 1 and DDV banned. No, DDV is bad. DDV is actually very bad. If you ask any like competent good player about DDV, it is bad. It is bad for the game. The problem is DDV is in like every format too. Like I bet that if you played other formats long enough, viruses are a problem in more formats than just Edison, by the way. Make a tournament with these changes. Hero Frogs isn't the best deck though. Like, I don't know. Even if you touch those cards, it's like, okay, Hero Frogs is just one of the big 3 again. right? And that's just kind of where it is. But it's not like Hero Frogs is some oppressive deck. Hero Frogs was, to be clear, Hero Frogs was never some oppressive deck that people were like, dear God, that deck is tier 0. How do I deal with it? I think your choices are sensible. Well, thank you. I try to be a sensible person. DDV is at 1 in goats. No, Brandon, you're dumb. I do not think that DDV is a problem because I use frogs. I think DDV is a problem because the card is a problem. I don't even lose to DDV. Just by the way. Like, just by the way, I do not lose to DDV as a frog player. If you watch the videos where I topped with frogs, which there are several on the channel, DDV has not ended me in a way that was like, damn, I lost this round because of DDV. That's just not a thing because I know how to actually play frogs. DDV is not even one of the cards that makes frogs, like, it's not one of the best cards against frogs is what I'm saying. DDV is not one of the best cards against frogs. That is a fact. If you know how to actually play frogs, know how to side deck with frogs, DDV hurts the other decks more than it hurts frogs. That is a fucking straight up fact. Ask Sizzle if he sides out his DDVs against me. You guys are behind if you think that like DDV is like some great frog destroyer and that's why I want it banned. I want it banned because it's bad for all the decks that actually cannot be played because it simply exists. Or decks that just flat out get zero diffed by it. Like they get so fucking destroyed. Like fairies, basically at this point, fairies can never be a deck because of DDV. Like pure fairies, as much as we meme on that deck, it's hurt so bad by the fact that DDV is a card. It literally can't recover or do anything after that happens. I walked into some heat. I think like even this is another conversation that was had between like the top players kind of recently, but we were saying that DDV seeing the draws for the next 3 turns and like giving you perfect information for 3 turns in a row is so outrageous that it doesn't even matter if you hit something or not. Like for example, Sackface Sizzle, Eric Shen in Orlando in the finals, he DDV'd his opponent and hit nothing and destroyed him that game. He hit literally, he went -2, actually. He hit 0 cards. Not a single card was hit. His opponent showed him, you didn't hit anything. I think eventually the guy drew 1 Test Tiger, so he hit 1 card eventually, but like immediately he took a -2, and that game wasn't particularly close, and it would not have been even remotely close if not for like closed forest and stuff like that, but that's a whole different thing. But my point is that DDV is fucking ridiculous. Regardless of like frogs, it has nothing to do with me playing frogs. Also, just I play other decks. Like I've topped with other decks. But to the point is like, even if you hit nothing with DDV, a good player is likely to still win that game because of how ridiculous it is to play your opponent when you can Millennium Eye them. Like, it's just, that is fucking crazy. I get to play all of my cards at the most optimal time, and you have no idea what traps you're walking into. Like, when I say traps, I mean like not actual trap cards, but just like traps, right? Like the actual word trap. Like when you see Gores, you see Torrential, you see Mirror Force, you see Heavy Storm, you're like, oh, well, this game is now trivialized. Sean, well, yes. Sean said, I think you and a True Hero are the best well-rounded players of Edison because you have taught with multiple decks. Yeah, it's not easy to switch decks and still do well at tournaments. That is definitely something difficult to do. Only a few players have actually been able to do that. You're basically cheating for 3 turns. Yeah, you're Millennium Eyeing your opponent. You're fucking Pegasus for 3 turns. This is a long game too, by the way. Like, I'm excited that the players are having a great time dueling back and forth. Oh, this is also not... This is not value. This is like hybrid Blackwings or something. This is value. The best to ever do it. I am not 100% sure if I'm going to Houston Gladiator Beast, Murray. I might be skipping that one. In this meta, wouldn't you main Impression and Value? I have no idea. I have not been playing since Gigavice and stuff, like, really popped off after Orlando or whatnot. So I don't know what the value people are doing, but there is a channel for that. There is a literal Discord channel in Edison format server where you can check to see what they're talking about. It's funny because the format is still cyclical to me. Combo decks become outrageous. Then people go back to main decking double Oppression. Oppression kills all the combo decks, kills the GBs. Then you go back to like a format with a lot of bird dominance because birds are not as susceptible to oppression. So then they do really well against the oppression meta. And so then people start to remove oppression from their deck, which is kind of where we were for a while. Like 2024 was basically like no oppression. But 2024 was also the year of like DDV. People take out oppression, then you end up with shit like Forgs and Gigavice and stuff like that and GBs. Okay, shout out to Dad's Car Club for winning. Yeah, so let me make sure I give him the roll, so I'll do that now. Oh wait, how do I do this? I think I have to search. It's car. I don't even know what this person's name is in the thing. Hold on. I still don't know which one it is. Oh god. Santi versus... Oh wait, okay. Sonori the Priest is... Okay, here we go. So they get the tournament winner roll. All right, so I'll send them their 20 bucks, and then we can also watch this. I wanted to watch this replay. This is a War League replay, by the way. So this is like, this is actually for something. Main deck oppression, by the way. Oh god. I knew it. I was like, oh god. I fucking Lilo was summoned off of Call It Haunted, no? So this should have gone. I hate this card art, by the way. Only not because it's a bad card art, because my brain isn't registering that this is red met on the field. Like, I don't get the same oomph feeling when red met is actually on the field. So, oh, Dark End sends not destroys. Oh, so Call It a Haunted stays when this card leaves, when that monster is destroyed. Interesting. I've never seen that interaction. Yeah, this deck literally, it plays all the same, like, sacky shit that Vayu can play, like Burial and Return and stuff like that. This is just... How is this Reaper getting out it? Oh. Okay. Alright, guy. Asking you shall receive. Damn, Caius on a back row is crazy. I don't know who this player is, by the way. But yeah, that was a little wild. Are you going to like draw Future Fusion or something? Like, where is this going? Because as of right now, okay. Get mauled. Get absolutely fucking mauled. Oh, I see the writing on the wall. The writing is on the fucking wall. Oh my god. Oh my god. What's up, Lucas? So many monsters he can't even take the gores. Here comes Colossal Fighter. No? Were there warriors? Yeah, plenty of warriors, actually. What just happened here? I'm checking damage stat rulings. RDA, Red Dragon Archfiend activates in subset 5, Colossus subset 7, so it will be destroyed. By effect first correct. Still checking, I don't know for sure. I would like to be an official ruling just to be sure. Okay, well. Yeah, so I mean that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think there's anything like wrong with the dragon deck. It's sacky. It has the Value Turbo essence where it can play DDV, it plays Burial, it plays Return, it summons big monsters from the graveyard, essentially, all that good stuff. So it's a good deck. It plays Future Fusion, which is like insane. I had access to Red Dragon Archfiend through Plague. Did he make you show it at least? Like, I assume you play it because you played the Redragon, but I would still make you show it. I don't even know if you had to show it there. But alright guys, well, Nice little quick stream, 2 hours. 2 hours is really short for me. I stream like 7 hours on Saturday and 5 hours on Sunday. But yeah, I am going to pack it up here. Y'all have a good night. I will see y'all Saturday. Don't forget, hold on, let me put this on the fucking camera real quick. Where is this thing? Just the last reminder, at least on this stream. Saturday, February 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that's my time zone, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We will be having a $700 cash tournament. It is free for everybody in my Discord server. There are hundreds of people in the Discord server. And they will be splitting, like the top cut will be splitting this $700. First, we'll get half of it, literally $350 to first, and then it'll scale down from there. Anyways, so you can play one copy of Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier in your deck. Very simple, very straightforward. Everything else is exactly the same as any other Edison event, but you can play Trishula. So do with that information what you will. You can play one copy of Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Should be fun. The point of this tournament is to answer the question, what would Edison format be like if Trishula was legal? Also, you don't have to go out of your way to like make a Trishula deck. You don't even have to actually play Trishula in your deck if you don't want to. You can play GBs with no Trishula. You can play like a fucking deck that doesn't play Trishula. You can do whatever you want. Okay? You can do whatever you want. If the winner doesn't play Trishula, I'm still going to send them the same $350 that I would send somebody who is playing Trishula. You can do whatever you want. Signups will open either Friday or Saturday morning, but if you're in a Discord server, I'll be making announcements as I often do for these types of things. So just stay tuned if you're in the server. We have like an announcements channel in here. So yeah, we have all types of announcements and stuff. But yeah, the Trishula Cup, it's happening finally in 2 days from today. I will see you all there. That being said, have a good night. Peace. Actually,